Good morning, students. Today we are going to start last subtopic of this chapter, that is blood vessels. There are three main types of blood vessels in the human circulatory system, that are arteries, veins and capillaries. Arteries, which are the blood vessels which carry out blood from heart to the various parts of the body and then branch into arterioles, that means the smallest one when they gets divided, and further then they redivide and turns into capillaries where they show very minute diameter and which are permeable for the exchange of material. So they normally carry arteries which normally carry oxygenated blood to all parts of the body except the pulmonary artery which carries deoxygenated blood, that is from heart to the lungs. So that's why it is the only artery in our body which carries deoxygenated blood, that is exception. Arteries are usually situated deep in the body except few like the radial, brachial, femoral, etc., which are superficially located. Superficial, that means at the surface of the skin. Arteries are actually located deep inside the body because they are showing a kind of there is a blood which is flowing inside it, which is with a large amount of pressure. They are in the TS of ovary. It shows its walls that are made up of three layers: tunica externa, tunica media and tunica interna. The three layers which can be seen same in the veins also, but the thickness is different in this both, that you can easily identify with this comparative diagram. The outermost tunica externa is thick tough layer which is made up of collagen fiber, and tunica media made up of smooth muscles which gives elasticity, so elastic fibers are also there. The innermost tunica interna is a single layer of flat compact endothelial cells surrounding the lumen. So lumen, there is a cavity, inside there is a endothelial cells, layer of endothelial cells which is present and which is directly in the contact with the blood which is flowing in the arteries. Veins which are thin walled, that you can check here in the diagram as compared to the arteries. These are thin walled, showing large lumen than the artery, and veins which are thin walled, mostly superficial vessels. Superficial, that means which are located just below the skin, which carry blood from the organs towards the heart. So the capillaries around the various organs join to form the veins, except for the pulmonary veins or the other veins of the body carry deoxygenated blood from towards the heart. So pulmonary vein, which is one of the exception for carrying the oxygenated blood from lungs to the heart. Portal vein, which is the hepatic portal vein, which differs from the other normal veins, and that it starts at capillaries from one organ and capillaries in some intermediate organ, that is that we can say for example liver, before taking the blood towards the heart. So veins are actually started from the capillaries. Capillaries unite, reunite and forms veins, and arteries divides, redivides and forms capillaries. This is the basic difference between these two. Histologically, that means the tissues, we can say the veins are also shows three layers like same in the artery: tunica externa, media, interna. The tunica media is comparatively thinner and their lumen is wide and narrow. There is a cavity inside it which is flowing. So it shows the wide narrow cavity for the blood flow. Internal valves at regular intervals can be seen because there is no pressure on the veins, because it receives blood from the body parts only, so there is no pressure. So that's why to maintain the flow towards the heart, it must have it don't have any pressure. It must have a kind of valves which prevents the backflow of the blood in the veins. So blood flows with the flow pressure with low pressure, and the valves present prevents backflow of the blood. Capillaries, these are a network of blood vessels, and these are thin walled having a single layer of flat squamous epithelium. a stretchable squamous epithelium, we can say, so which resting on the single basement membrane. They are mainly involved in exchange of materials. That's why they are permeable to many materials. One of the capillaries is formed of single layer of squamous epithelium and it is stretchable, which provides more permeability. Blood flows through the capillary under the high pressure, and this actually facilitates the contact between the blood and the cell, because capillaries which are actually directly in contact with the each and every cell, where the exchange between the blood inside the capillary and in the cell between the cell takes place through the permeable membrane of the capillaries. Wall of capillaries bear small endothelial pores or fenestrae through which the blood cells, that are WBCs, which can escape by the process which is called the diapediasis, that we have seen in the WBC, that squeezing movement. Pulse. It is a series of pressure waves that travel through the arteries due to ventricular systole. So a single ventricular systole pressure, which can be termed as a pulse, it is the longest in arteries and closer to the heart gradually when becomes weak in arteries away from the heart. It can be felt easily in the superficial arteries like radial artery in the wrist and carotid artery in the neck, so that we can easily check, doctor easily check these two. The pulse can be felt at particular points on the body. All locations where the pulse can be felt are shown in the figure, in the next figure that we are going to see. Pulse rate is equal to the heart rate, and pulse rate higher than the normal, that is above 100 beats per minute, which is called the tachycardia. So this is the diagram where the pulse points are shown. Slower pulse rate, that is between 60 beats per minute, which is normal and is called the bradycardia. Blood pressure. The pressure exerted by blood on the wall of the blood vessel is called blood pressure. It is measured by sphygmomanometer, the name of the instrument which is generally used for it. It is usually measured from the arteries. So arterial blood pressure. Pressure exerted by blood on the wall of the artery is arterial blood pressure. Pressure on the arterial wall during ventricular contraction, that is systole, that is ventricular systole, we can say. It is systolic pressure, that is systolic pressure directly related to the ventricular contraction. For a normal healthy adult, the average value is 120 millimeter Hg, that is the unit of pressure. So pressure on the arterial wall during relaxation of ventricles, diastolic pressure, that is dP, and which is for normal healthy adult, which is 80 millimeter per Hg. So BP, that is total blood pressure, can be found out by the systolic pressure divided by diastolic pressure, that is 120 by 80 millimeter Hg. So blood pressure is normally written as 120/80 mmHg, which is normal. Difference between systolic and diastolic pressure is called pulse pressure. Normally it is 40 mmHg. So deviation from the normal, that is change in the normal blood pressure value, which indicates the malfunctioning of the heart. That's why doctor always checks blood pressure of elder person or adults. It may be due to high or low blood volume, arterial inelasticity of hardening of arteries, that is arteriosclerosis. It is also the deposition of fats like cholesterol in the arteries, that is atherosclerosis, renal disease, that is kidney disease, and emotion induced hormonal changes, obesity, etc., which actually responsible for the change in the blood pressure. Blood pressure lower than normal, that is between 90-60 mmHg, which is called hypotension, and blood pressure higher than the normal value, that is above 140 per 90 mmHg, which is hypertension. Various factors that affect the blood pressure are cardiac output, peripheral resistance. Peripheral resistance, that means the veins resistance, we can say. Blood volume, length and diameter of blood vessels, viscosity of blood, that is the thickness of the blood, even according to age, gender, venous return, that is returning to the veins, sleep, that means how much sleep that person get, a proper sleep, emotions, how that person's psychological condition, exercise and anxiety. So in these all conditions, blood pressure may be changed. Blood pressure increases with the age due to increase in the inelasticity of the blood vessels. So as the muscles gets more harder and inelasticity of the blood vessels gets also increased, so blood pressure is also increases with it. Amount of blood brought to the heart via veins per unit time is called the venous return, and it is directly proportional to the blood pressure. That is the heart returning to the heart. Blood returning to the heart. Blood pressure is also directly proportional to the total length of the blood vessel. Blood pressure can also be affected by vasoconstriction or vasodilation. So vasoconstriction or vasodilation, that means the dilation, that means full jana, that is the extension of the diameter, and constriction, that is the decrease in the diameter of the blood vessels. In females have slightly lower BP than the males her age before menopause. So females shows less blood pressure than the male normally. However, the risk of high BP increases in the females after menopause sets in. Next part, that is measurement of blood pressure. Blood pressure is measured with the help of an instrument called sphygmomanometer. This instrument consists of the inflatable rubber bag cuff which covered by a cotton cloth, and it is connected with the help of the tubes to the mercury manometer on one side and a rubber bulb on the other side. So during measurement, the person is asked to lie in a sleeping position. The instrument is placed at the level of heart and the cuff is tightly wrapped around upper arm. The cuff is inflated till the brachial artery is blocked due to external pressure. So then the pressure in the cuff is slowly lowered till the first pulsatile sound is heard. At this moment, the pressure indicated in the manometer is systolic pressure. That means the systole in the ventricles of the heart that can be measured here. That is the pressure of the systole. Sounds heard during measurement of blood pressure are called Korthoff sounds. Pressure in the cuff is further lowered till any pulsatile sound cannot be heard due to smooth blood flow. So at this moment, the pressure indicated the manometer, which is diastolic pressure, and an optimal blood pressure, that is normal level, which reads 120 to 120-80 mmHg. Hypertension. Persistently raised blood pressure higher than the normal value is called hypertension. 140-90 mmHg is called threshold of hypertension, and the 180-120 mmHg and higher readings are the dangers to the health. So it may cause the damage of the heart, brain and kidneys also. Under the condition of hypertension, heart uses more energy for pumping, which causes angina pectoris. There is the chest pain, we can say, due to the lower supply to the cardiac muscles. That's why in the heart, so in the chest, and may lead to the myocardial infarction. That means we can say the heart problem. There are more chances of brain hemorrhage due to the hypertension, as the arteries in the brain are less protected by surrounding tissues as compared to the other organs, so which can be burst in the brain, and blood clots will takes place, that drops of blood clots will get accumulate in the brain, and that is termed as brain hemorrhage. In kidney, hypertension may cause kidney failure because a large amount of blood cannot be received by kidney at a time, and sometimes kidney also shows malfunctioning. And by frequent hypertension, kidney can be failed. Coronary artery diseases. It's also known as atherosclerosis. In this, calcium, fat, cholesterol, and fibrous tissue gets deposited in the blood vessel supplying blood to the heart muscle, making the lumen narrow. So coronary arteries, which are actually we can say coronary arteries which shows the narrow lumen, and that's why heart muscles won't get enough amount of oxygen. Angina pectoris. It is a pain in the chest resulting from the reduction in the blood supply to the cardiac muscles because of the atherosclerosis or arteriosclerosis. These two words that we have heard before. So it is characterized by the severe pain and heaviness in the chest. That is one of the symptoms, heaviness in the chest. Pain may be spread to the neck, lower jaw, upper arm, left arm, left shoulder. The pain usually results from the exertion when there is more demand of oxygen by the heart, but the supply does not meet the requirement and directly stress to the heart. Next part, that is angiography, heart transplant, silent heart attack, which are reduced from your syllabus for this year. Turn to the electrocardiogram, a graphical recording of electrical variations which are detected by the surface of the body during the propagation through the wall of the heart is called electrocardiogram. Means a kind of electrical variations, that is because of the sinoarterial node, AC node, AV node, Purkinje fibers that all unite together form a kind of conducting system of the heart, and that electric, what we can say in common language, that electric current is actually read by that machine which gives electrocardiogram. The recording may be in the form of printout or on-screen display. The instrument used for this recording is ECG machine or electrocardiograph. This instrument detects and amplifies the signals which flows in the heart. So various electrodes are used for recording of signals. 4 electrodes are positioned on limbs, 2 on the arms, 2 on the legs, and these are limb electrodes. 6 electrodes are positioned on chest. These are chest electrodes. In a normal record, 3 different waves are recognized: P wave, QRS complex, and T wave, which can be seen easily in this diagram. P wave is a small upward deflection from the baseline of graph. It represents the arterial depolarization. That means arterial means atrium is now depolarized. That means current from SA node which is passed towards the ventricles now. The QRS complex, which starts as a slight downward deflection from baseline, continues as a sharp large upright wave, ends as the downward wave. That is QRS complex. Which can be easily seen in this diagram, which represents the ventricular depolarization. That means the contraction of the ventricles which takes place, which can be seen in the form of waves of QRS complex. And T wave, which is a small wide upward elevated wave, which represents the ventricular repolarization. That means it again repolarize and relax. Now turn to the last subtopic of this chapter, that is lymphatic system. Lymphatic system consists of lymphatic vessels, some organs and tissues. The word lymph means clear water and fluid connective tissue with almost similar composition to the blood except RBCs. So this is only the blood's extraction, but without RBC, blood's filtrate we can say. Without RBC, platelet, and some proteins. Fluid from intracellular spaces of the body tissue enters into the lymphatic vessels. At the time of exchange between the material between capillaries, between blood and cells, there are some material which is actually filtered out in the permeable wall of the capillaries and which accumulate in between the cells, so that gets accumulated in the intercellular spaces of the body, that is lymph. So from here it is discharged to the blood vessels, that is to the vein, and through the thoracic duct and the right lymphatic duct it reaches to the heart again. So here we have finished this chapter. We are going to do assignment for this chapter and even revision test. Thank you all of you. Next time we are going to start with the next chapter, that is control and coordination.